Okay, students, today I'm going to deal with reproduction rates. In the last class, what we have discussed? In the last class, we have discussed about definition of vital statistics, then vital events, then sources of collection of vital statistics, and measurement of population, mortality rates. Under mortality rates, we have studied about crude death rate, age-specific death rate, standardized death rate, infant mortality rate, neonatal mortality rate, and maternal mortality rate. Okay, and after that, we discussed about fertility rates such as crude birth rate, then general fertility rate, age-specific fertility rate, and total fertility rate, along with merits and demerits. Okay, today I'm going to start reproduction rates. So, what is the difference between reproduction and fertility? What is the difference between reproduction and fertility? Okay, fertility refers to births, and even reproduction also refers to giving birth to a child. Giving birth to a child. Okay, but the main difference in fertility and reproduction is in case of birth rates, in case of fertility rates, we used to consider female population and the number of live births apart from CBR. In case of CBR, the ratio is total number of live births to the average population, that is multiplied by 1000. In case of CBR, apart from CBR, GFR, TFR, and ASFR takes into account only female population, that too between the age group 15 to 49. Keep it in mind. And what is the difference between fertility rates and reproduction rates? In case of birth rates, number of live births, that is total number of births include both boy babies and girl babies. Total number of births include boy babies as well as girl babies. But for reproduction rates, for the calculation of reproduction rates, live births takes into account only girl babies, only female babies, because those female babies or those newly born female children are the future mothers. So it is meaningless to consider boy babies for reproduction rates, because those are the future mothers. Those are capable of giving birth to a child. So reproduction rates deals with what? It's a ratio of female babies to the female population. Fine. So the fertility rates are unstable for giving an idea of the rate of growth of population, because they ignore the sex of the newly born children and their mortality. If mortality is ignored, we may not get the correct rate of growth of population, because it ignores the death of female children before reaching the childbearing age. Before reaching the childbearing age. So, reproduction rate ಅಲ್ಲಿ ನಾವು ಯಾರನ್ನ ಕನ್ಸಿಡರ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ ಅಂದ್ರೆ who are capable of giving birth to a child, who are the future mothers. Okay, and fertility rates ನಲ್ಲಿ mortality ಅನ್ನೋದನ್ನ ನಾವು ignore ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ. Okay, but in case of reproduction rate, we have to consider the female babies, that too between the age group 15 to 49, who reach the age 15 to 49, who reach that germination period and give birth to a child. These are known as reproduction rates. And there are two types of reproduction rates: gross reproduction rate and net reproduction rate, GRR and NRR. Okay. So gross reproduction rate is the sum of annual WSFR. What is WSFR here? What is WSFR? WSFR is woman specific fertility rate. WSFR is woman specific fertility rate, like ASFR. ASFR is what? Age specific fertility rate. Age wise, we are going to calculate fertility rates. In the same way, WSFR is woman specific fertility rate. So it is a redefined measure of fertility which accounts for future mothers. GRR is defined as the sum of annual WSFR of the entire reproduction span without mortality. So ನೀವೇನಲ್ಲಿ ರಿಪ್ರೊಡಕ್ಷನ್ ರೇಟ್ಸ್ ಅನ್ನ ಕಂಡುಹಿಡಿದು ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇರ್ತೀವಿ. ಸೊ ಆ ಒಂದು ಪೀರಿಯಡ್ ನಲ್ಲಿ ಮಾರ್ಟಾಲಿಟಿ ಏನಿರಬೇಕು, 0 ಇರಬೇಕು. ಓಕೆ, ಸೊ WSFR of the entire reproduction span without mortality. Okay, and it also indicates the rate at which mothers will be replaced by daughters and the old generation by the new. If no mother died or migrated before reaching the upper limit of the childbearing age, that is 49 years. So it also indicates the rate at which mothers will be replaced by daughters. Andre, if I have a female baby, so she is a future mother, okay, and I am replaced by my daughter, okay, those daughters will become mothers in future and the old generation is replaced by the new generation. Okay, if no mother died or migrated, andre now yarana consider ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ condition is if no mother died or migrated before reaching the upper limit of the childbearing age. So ಆ childbearing age ಅನ್ನ ರೀಚ್ ಆಗೋಕ್ಕಿಂತ ಮುಂಚೆ ಕೊಲಾಪ್ಸ್ ಆಗದೆ ಇರೋಂಥವ್ರನ್ನ ನಾವು ಕನ್ಸಿಡರ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ, that is 49 years. So GRR can be calculated by using the following expression. GRR equals to I into summation of WSFR, where I takes the values from 15 to 49. At 15 to 49 is known as the germination period. The previous class. Okay, then I is the magnitude of the age class. Magnitude of the age class is nothing but width of the age class. Okay, then WSFR is calculated by using the following formula. And the long form of WSFR, the extension of WSFR is woman specific fertility rate and is the ratio of FBX divided by FTX into 1000. It is the ratio of female births to the female population, that is multiplied by 1000. Okay, then some of the merits of WSFR as follows. Merits: it is useful for comparing fertility in different areas or in the same area at different time periods. Next, second merit is it has an advantage over the total fertility rate because in its computation we take into account only female babies who are the future mothers. Who are the future mothers? We are going to consider only those female babies who are the future mothers. And demerit of GRR is it ignores the current mortality. All female babies born do not survive till they reach the age childbearing age. So, all female babies, 49 years childbearing.
Excuse me, ma'am.
Yes. Yes.
Your voice is not clear. We are getting disturbed.
Okay. Just a minute. Now is it clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So demerit of GRR is it ignores the current mortality. All female babies born do not survive till they reach the age childbearing. That is the main demerit of GRR. ಎಲ್ಲ ಫಿಮೇಲ್ ಬೇಬೀಸ್ನು ಅಪ್ ಟು 49 ಇಯರ್ಸ್ ತನಕ ಸರ್ವೈವ್ ಆಗ್ತಾರೆ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಕ್ ಆಗಲ್ಲ ಬಿಕಾಸ್ ಲೈಫ್ ಈಸ್ ಅನ್ಸರ್ಟನ್ ಎನಿಥಿಂಗ್ ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಹ್ಯಾಪನ್ ಅಟ್ ಎನಿ ಟೈಮ್ ಓಕೆ ಸೊ ಇಟ್ ಇಗ್ನೋರ್ಸ್ ದಿ ಕರೆಂಟ್ ಮಾರ್ಟಾಲಿಟಿ ದಿಸ್ ಇಸ್ ದಿ ಮೇನ್ ಡಿಮೆರಿಟ್ all female babies do not survive till they reach the childbearing age. And the next one is net reproduction rate. Net reproduction rate. It is the average number of daughters that would be born to a female if she passed through her lifetime, conforming to the age-specific fertility and mortality rates of a given year. So GRR is given by summation WSFR into S. So here instead of GRR, actually it should be NRR. Wait, I'll show you. It should be NRR. It should be NRR by mistake. GRR. It should be NRR. Net reproduction rate. Okay. I'll make it correct in the next class. NRR equals to I into summation 15 to 49 WSFR into S, where I is magnitude of the age class or width of the age class, and WSFR is already you know about WSFR, that is woman specific fertility rate, and it is the ratio of female births to the female population, and that ratio is multiplied by 1000. Then this summation is multiplied by the survival rate of the female babies ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ probability of survival. So probability of survival ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಆ ಫಿಮೇಲ್ ಬೇಬೀಸ್ ಏನ್ ನ್ಯೂಲಿ ಬಾರ್ನ್ ಫಿಮೇಲ್ ಬೇಬೀಸ್ ಏನ್ ಇರ್ತಾರೆ ಅವ್ರದ್ದು ಎಷ್ಟು ದಿನ ಅವರು ಅಲೈವ್ ಇರ್ತಾರೆ, ಎಷ್ಟು ದಿನ ಬದುಕ್ತಾರೆ, ಅದ್ರದ್ದು ಪ್ರೊಬಾಬಿಲಿಟಿ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿರ್ತಾರೆ ನಿಮಗೆ. ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ನೋನ್ ಆಸ್ ಸರ್ವೈವಲ್ ರೇಷಿಯೋ. Okay, NRR can be calculated by using I into summation 15 to 49 WSFR into S, where I is the magnitude of the age class, WSFR woman specific fertility rate, that is it's a ratio of female births to the female population, that is multiplied by 1000, and S is survival rates. So this is all about net reproduction rate. Then merits and demerits of net reproduction rates. Merits, some of the merits are as follows. It takes into account current fertility and current mortality. Current fertility andre at present ಏನು ನಡೀತಾ ಇದೆ, at present what is the fertility and mortality of the population. Okay, it takes into account current fertility and current mortality. It will show a tendency of increase or decrease in population. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಇನ್ಕ್ರೀಸ್ ಆಗಿದೆನಾ ಅಥವಾ ಡಿಕ್ರೀಸ್ ಆಗಿದೆನಾ ಅಥವಾ ಕಾನ್ಸ್ಟೆಂಟ್ ಆಗಿದೆನಾ ಅಂತ ಅದು ನಿಮಗೆ ತೋರಿಸುತ್ತೆ. ಓಕೆ, ದೆನ್ ಡಿಮೆರಿಟ್ಸ್, ಇಟ್ ಅಸ್ಯೂಮ್ಸ್ ಕಾನ್ಸ್ಟೆಂಟ್ ರೇಟ್ಸ್ ಆಫ್ ಫರ್ಟಿಲಿಟಿ and mortality over a generation, but in reality both these rates go on changing. So ಇಲ್ಲಿ ನಾವೇನ್ ತಗೊಳ್ತೀವಿ ಅಂದ್ರೆ the main demerit of NRR is it considers constant rate of fertility and mortality over a generation, but in reality ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ the rate of growth of population, the rate of fertility and the rate of reproduction go on changing. Change ಆಗ್ತಾ ಹೋಗುತ್ತೆ. Sometimes fertility rate ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಇರ್ಬೋದು, sometimes mortality rate ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಇರ್ಬೋದು, and reproduction ಕೂಡ ವೇರಿಯೇಷನ್ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇರುತ್ತೆ in reality. Okay, the production of a country may become depleted more by migration than by declining birth rate. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಪಾಪ್ಯುಲೇಷನ್ ಆಫ್ ಕಂಟ್ರಿ, ನಮ್ದು ಪಾಪ್ಯುಲೇಷನ್, ಇಂಡಿಯಾ ಪಾಪ್ಯುಲೇಷನ್ ಏನಿದೆ, ನಮ್ಮ ದೇಶದ ಒಂದು ಪಾಪ್ಯುಲೇಷನ್ ಏನಿದೆ ಅದರಲ್ಲಿ ವೇರಿಯೇಷನ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ ಅಥವಾ ಅದರಲ್ಲಿ ಕಡಿಮೆ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಪಾಪ್ಯುಲೇಷನ್ ಕಡಿಮೆನೂ ಆಗ್ಬೋದು, ಜಾಸ್ತಿನೂ ಆಗ್ಬೋದು. ಅದು ಯಾವ್ದ್ರಿಂದ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಅದ್ರದ್ದು ಎಫೆಕ್ಟ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ, ಪಾಪ್ಯುಲೇಷನ್ ಮೇಲೆ ಯಾವ್ದು ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಎಫೆಕ್ಟ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಬೈ ಮೈಗ್ರೇಷನ್ ದ್ಯಾನ್ ಬೈ ಡಿಕ್ಲೈನಿಂಗ್ ಬರ್ತ್ ರೇಟ್. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಬರ್ತ್ ರೇಟ್ ಕಡಿಮೆ ಆಗೋದ್ರಿಂದ ಪಾಪ್ಯುಲೇಷನ್ ಕಡಿಮೆ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಕ್ಕಾಗಲ್ಲ, ಬಟ್ ಪಾಪ್ಯುಲೇಷನ್ ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಬಿ ಡಿಪ್ಲೀಟೆಡ್ ಬೈ ಮೈಗ್ರೇಷನ್. ಬೈ ಮೈಗ್ರೇಷನ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ those who move from India to outside, ನಮ್ಮ ದೇಶದಿಂದ ಬೇರೆ ದೇಶಕ್ಕೆ ಹೋಗೋರೆ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಇರ್ತಾರೆ. ಸೊ ಅದರಿಂದನೂ ಕೂಡ ನಮ್ಮ ಪಾಪ್ಯುಲೇಷನ್ ಕಡಿಮೆ ಆಗ್ಬೋದು. Then it cannot be used for forecasting future population changes. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಫ್ಯೂಚರ್ ಪಾಪ್ಯುಲೇಷನ್ ಫೈಂಡ್ ಔಟ್ ಮಾಡಲಿಕ್ಕೆ sometimes it will be difficult. Then some of the uses of vital statistics already today, but still I'm going to teach you. So uses of vital statistics are given below. They are used in planning and evaluation of economic and social development of a country. They are useful to government agencies for administrative purposes. Then they are essential in medical and demographic structure or demographic research. So already ನಾನು ನಿಮಗೆ ಹೇಳಿದ್ದೀನಿ, this part vital statistics is mainly applied in medical field. Okay, medical research ನಲ್ಲಿ ಇದನ್ನ apply ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ. That's what it is, an application of statistics in biology, that is known as biostatistics or biometry. Okay, so they are essential in medical and demographic research. Demography is what? It's a rate of growth of population. It is a study of growth of population, is known as demography. They are useful in recording birth, death, marriage, divorce during his or her lifetime. During his or her lifetime. Then they are useful in actuarial science. So actuarial science andre ಏನು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ ನಾನು ನಿಮಗೆ ಲಾಸ್ಟ್ ಇಯರ್ ಆಲ್ರೆಡಿ ಹೇಳಿದ್ದೆ. So actuarial science is the application of statistics in Life Insurance Corporation, LIC of India. LIC ಅಂತ ನೀವು ಕೇಳಿದ್ದೀರಾ. ಸೊ LIC ನಲ್ಲಿ ಸ್ಟಾಟಿಸ್ಟಿಕ್ಸ್ ಅನ್ನ ಅಪ್ಲೈ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ. So ಆ ಒಂದು branch ಗೆ, the branch of statistics which is applied in Life Insurance Corporation is known as actuarial science. They are of great use to the government to assess the impact of family welfare programs in the country. They are of great use to the government to assess the impact of family welfare programs in the country. So these are the some of the merits of vital statistics. And the next is a small concept, last concept of vital statistics, that is life tables. Life table andre ಏನು? So already ನಿಮಗೆ mortality ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಏನು ಗೊತ್ತು, fertility ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಏನು ಗೊತ್ತು, reproduction ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಏನು ಗೊತ್ತು, and already we have discussed about the merits and demerits as well as the formulas regarding mortality rates, fertility rates and reproduction rates. So now let me discuss life tables. So life table is a tabular presentation of numerical data describing the mortality experience of a cohort. So life table ಯಾವ ತರ ಇರುತ್ತೆ, ಯಾವ ತರ ಪ್ರೆಸೆಂಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ ಅಂದ್ರೆ tabular presentation. So tabulation ನೀವು already first year ನಲ್ಲಿ ಓದಿದ್ದೀರಾ. Okay, we learned about tabulation, classification and tabulation in the last year. Okay, life table is a tabular presentation of numerical data, and that table describes the mortality experience. Mortality experience. Mortality ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಏನು? It refers to deaths. Mortality experience of a cohort. Cohort is nothing but it's a group of individuals. Cohort andre ಏನು? It's a group of individuals who are born at the same time and who experience the same mortality conditions. So ಯಾರಿಗೆ ಯಾವ ಒಂದು ಗ್ರೂಪ್ಗೆ ನಾವು cohort ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಿ, ಇಟ್ಸ್ ಅ ಗ್ರೂಪ್ ಆಫ್ ಇಂಡಿವಿಜುವಲ್ಸ್, ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಯಾರು ಒಂದೇ ಟೈಮ್ಗೆ ಹುಟ್ಟಿರ್ತಾರೆ ಅಂಡ್ ದೋಸ್ ಇಂಡಿವಿಜುವಲ್ಸ್ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪೀರಿಯನ್ಸ್ ಸೇಮ್ ಮಾರ್ಟಾಲಿಟಿ ಕಂಡೀಷನ್ಸ್. ಸೇಮ್ ಮಾರ್ಟಾಲಿಟಿ ಕಂಡೀಷನ್ಸ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಮಾರ್ಟಾಲಿಟಿ ರೆಫರ್ಸ್ ಟು ಡೆತ್ಸ್. ಸೊ ಆ ಕಾಸ್ ಆಫ್ ಡೆತ್ ಏನಿರುತ್ತೆ ಅದು ಸೇಮ್ ಆಗಿರುತ್ತೆ. ಯೂಶುವಲಿ ಅಪ್ರಾಕ್ಸಿಮೇಟ್ಲಿ ಯಾರದ್ದು ಸೇಮ್ ಆಗಿರ್ತದೆ ಕಾಸ್, ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ನೋನ್ ಆಸ್ cohort. Okay, so cohort is a group of individuals who are born at the same time and who experience the same mortality conditions. And radix is the size of the cohort, and the size of the radix is usually 1 lakh. Okay, these are 1 mark questions. 1 mark ನಲ್ಲಿ ನಿಮಗೆ ಕೇಳ್ತಾರೆ what is cohort, what is radix, what is longevity and all. Okay, life table is a tabular presentation of a numerical data that describes the mortality experience of a cohort, where cohort is a group of individuals who are born at the same time and who experience the same mortality conditions. and the size of the cohort is known as radix, and its size is generally 1 lakh. And the next term is longevity. Okay, longevity is the expected number of years that a newborn baby would live. It is the expected number of years that a newborn baby would live. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಒಂದು ನ್ಯೂಬಾರ್ನ್ ಬೇಬಿ ಎಷ್ಟು ವರ್ಷ ಸರ್ವೈವ್ ಆಗ್ಬೋದು, ಎಷ್ಟು ವರ್ಷ ಬದುಕ್ಬೋದು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ ನಾವೇನು ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪೆಕ್ಟೇಷನ್ ತೆಗಿತೀವಿ. ಲೈಫ್ ಸ್ಪ್ಯಾನ್ ಮೋಸ್ಟ್ ಪ್ರಾಬಬ್ಲಿ ಅಪ್ ಟು 60 ಇಯರ್ಸ್. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಮೊದಲು ಹೇಗಿತ್ತು, ಡಿಪೆಂಡ್ಸ್ ಆನ್ ಲೈಫ್ ಸ್ಟೈಲ್. ಸೊ ಮೊದ್ಲಿನ ಜನ ಯಾವ ತರ ಇದ್ರು, ವೆರಿ ಹೆಲ್ದಿ ಆಗಿರ್ತಿದ್ರು, ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿ ಕೆಲಸ ಮಾಡ್ತಿದ್ರು, ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿ ಬಿಸಿಲಲ್ಲಿ ಗಾಳಿಲಿ ಮಳೆಲಿ ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿ ದುಡಿತಿದ್ರು. ಸೊ ಅವರು ಆಮೇಲೆ ಹೆಲ್ದಿ ಫುಡ್ ತಿಂತಾ ಇದ್ರು. ಸೊ ಅವಾಗಲ್ಲಿ ಏನು ಈವನ್ ಇನ್ ಫುಡ್ ಆಲ್ಸೋ, ಫುಡ್ ಅಲ್ಲೂ ಕೂಡ ಏನು ಕೆಮಿಕಲ್ಸ್ ಫರ್ಟಿಲೈಸರ್ಸ್ ಏನು ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಿರ್ಲಿಲ್ಲ. ಸೊ ಆ ಟೈಮ್ ನಲ್ಲಿ ಅವ್ರದ್ದು ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪೆಕ್ಟೇಷನ್ ಆಫ್ ಲೈಫ್ ಎಷ್ಟಿತ್ತು ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಇಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಅಪ್ ಟು 80 to 100 years. ಎಷ್ಟೋ ಜನರದ್ದು ನಾವು ಇನ್ನೂ ತನಕ ಕೇಳ್ತೀವಿ 100 years, 104 years, 109 years ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಅಷ್ಟು ವರ್ಷ ಅವರು ಹೆಲ್ದಿಯಾಗಿ ಬರ್ತಿದ್ದಾರೆ ಅಂತ ನಾವು ಕೇಳ್ತೀವಿ ಲೈಫ್ ಸ್ಪ್ಯಾನ್. Okay, but for our generation it is very difficult because mainly it is because of our lifestyle. ನಮ್ಮ ಲೈಫ್ ಸ್ಟೈಲ್ ಇರ್ಬೋದು, ಆಮೇಲೆ ನಮ್ಮ ಫುಡ್ ಇರ್ಬೋದು. ಓಕೆ, ಬಿಕಾಸ್ ವಿ ಆರ್ ಕಂಪ್ಲೀಟ್ಲಿ ಡಿಪೆಂಡೆಂಟ್ ಆನ್ ವಿಚ್ ಒನ್, ಲೈಕ್ ಫುಡ್ಸ್ ನಲ್ಲಿ ಫುಡ್ ಅನ್ನು ಯಾವ ತರ ಬೆಳೀತಾರೆ, ಬೆಳೆಯನ್ನು ಯಾವ ತರ ಬೆಳೀತಾರೆ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಕೆಮಿಕಲ್ ಹಾಕಿನೇ ಬೆಳೀತಾರೆ, ಫರ್ಟಿಲೈಸರ್ಸ್ ಹಾಕಿನೇ ಬೆಳೀತಾರೆ. ಸೊ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ನಮ್ಗೆ ಏನಾಗ್ಬಿಡುತ್ತೆ, ಇದನ್ನ ಕೆಮಿಕಲ್ಸ್ ಆಲ್ಸೋ ವಿ ಕನ್ಸ್ಯೂಮ್. ಫುಡ್ಡಿನ ಜೊತೆಗೆ ನಾವು ಕೆಮಿಕಲ್ಸ್ ಅನ್ನು ನಾವು ಇಂಟೇಕ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬಿಡ್ತೀವಿ. Okay, and junk foods, mainly the young generation is completely addicted to junk foods. Okay, so ಇದರಿಂದ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ, ಲೈಫ್ ಸ್ಟೈಲ್ ಅಥವಾ ಲೈಫ್ ಸ್ಪ್ಯಾನ್ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ, ಕಡಿಮೆ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ನೋನ್ ಆಸ್ ಲಾಂಗೆವಿಟಿ. ಸೊ ಫಾರ್ ಆರ್ ಜನರೇಷನ್ maybe it is up to 60 to 70 years, not more than 70 years according to my way. Okay, so longevity is the expected number of years that a newborn baby would live. Okay, these are the some of the technical terms which are being used in life tables. Next, uses of life tables. So life tables ಹೇಗೆ ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ? Life tables are used by life insurance companies. Already I told you. Life tables are used by life insurance companies to determine the rates of premium for policies of persons of different ages. Then, it is used for the measurement of growth of population in the computation of net production rate. It is used for estimating the future population. Okay, then it is used by the government and private organizations in planning healthcare, retirement age, educational program, and so on. So retirement age and find out malike life tables are use ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ, and in healthcare programs, health centers, and planning healthcare, education programs ಅನ್ನೆಲ್ಲ ಪ್ಲಾನ್ ಮಾಡಲಿಕ್ಕೆ life tables are use ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ. Then it is used for analyzing the effects of mortality on the age and sex composition of the population. Fine. So these are some of the uses of life tables. Then next is components of life tables. There are few components are there. We will discuss in the next class components of life table. Today I'll just tell you how many components are there, and okay. So first one, X, that is the age of a person. Then next one is LX, where LX is the number of persons living at age X. So ಇದನ್ನ ನನಗೆ X, LX, DX ಅದನ್ನೆಲ್ಲ ನಿಮಗೆ ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ ನಲ್ಲಿ ಡಿಸ್ಕ್ರೈಬ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀನಿ, ಬಿಕಾಸ್ ಅದನ್ನ ನಿಮಗೆ ಓರಲಿ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ ಅರ್ಥ ಆಗಲ್ಲ. ಸೊ ನಾನು ನಿಮಗೆ ಸಾಲ್ವ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾನೆ ಹೇಳ್ತೀನಿ. ಸೊ X is the age of a person. X takes a value to 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and so on. LX, the number of persons living at age X. Okay, then the next comes DX, that is number of persons among LX persons reaching age X who die before reaching age X person. This is number of deaths. X is the age. Small letter LX is number of persons living at age X. DX is number of deaths at age X. Next is QX. QX is the mortality ratio, probability of mortality, and PX is probability of survival, and capital LX is the number of years lived in the aggregate by the cohort, where cohort is the group of individuals, as I told you earlier. Then TX is total number of years lived by the cohort after attaining the age X, and EX is expectation of life, the entire expectation of life or lifespan of an individual. So in the next class, we will discuss about the components of life table, a small part. Okay. If you have any doubts in today's class, you can ask me.